Hi everyone, I'm Tam, and we are back with another spurious dish. I have some instant ramen here. About 2 packets. We're going to make some instant ramen gourmet style. Let's put it that way. I have some beef broth. It's a bit more heavier and thicker than chicken broth. Chicken broth is more kind of like garden-y, kind of like a lighter. Beef broth is more kind of like a stony, kind of more heavy. So it's a nice meal for a cold day. I have some canned vegetable. 7 in 1. That's a lot. 7 different types of vegetables, a lot. And bacon and eggs and 2 sticks of butter and unsalted butter, and also some cilantro. So I'm going to use half of this, 16 ounces, to make 2 serving sizes. 16 ounces, so about 2 cups of beef broth plus 2 cups of water to dilute it, so that way it's not too heavy. It's still kind of like a nice and kind of firm, nice and kind of dense. And then we'll put in the veggies. That's 2 servings, two serving sizes, 4 slices of bacon per serving, plus two eggs per serving. So that's kind of the kind of ratio right there. Okay, so I'll prepare everything. I'm going to mince up the cilantro very nice and neatly, and I'm also going to boil the noodles. I'm going to boil the noodles with just water. The seasoning packet will be used to season the bacon pieces, and I'll render the bacon fat out to use to cook the eggs. So the noodles will just be cooked with just regular water and then put into a bowl to the side. I'll put the sticks of butter with the beef broth plus more water plus the veggies, and let that kind of simmer for 5 to 10 minutes. So that the veggies become nice and kind of tender. And then once I finish the broth, I'll scoop the broth and put it with the noodles. So we're basically 75% of the way there, 75% of the way there. And then I will use the seasoning packets to season the bacon, render the bacon nice and kind of crispy with all the fat, and then use that to cook the eggs in, and then put that into the bowl for the topping. So that's how we're going to proceed with this. All right, so I minced up the cilantro very nice and neatly, minced it up very, very finely. I also boiled the instant noodles with just water. The reason why I did this is because sometimes the noodles have attached to them preservatives. So to wash out some of it, you can cook it in just plain water. The water turned yellowish, so it basically removes some of the I guess the chemicals attached to the noodles itself. So that's why I did that. Just plain water, Cooked it, boil it in plain water until it's eventually al dente, kind of nice and soft, and still a bit firm. That's what I did. The seasoning packets are here. I have not used this at all. Just plain water to cook the noodles in. Here I have half of the beef stock, so about 16 ounces, plus probably 2 cups of water here. 2 cups of water. So it should be enough for 2 bowls, 2 servings. 2 sticks of butter, the entire can of veggies, 15 ounces. So we're going to let this simmer. we're going to bring this to a boil. And then let it simmer for like 10 to 15 minutes, so that everything kind of finishes up nicely. Stir it around every now and then to even out the flavor. So that's the broth right there. I'm going to try to hand marinate. So using these seasoning packets, I'm going to try to marinate this bacon. There's 8 slices here. I'll try to marinate it with just the dry powder. This is kind of harder to do. It's more like a sticky gel here. It's kind of hard to do, but I'll try to do what I can. Pour these seasoning inside, marinate it around, kind of like stick it together, and then just be ready to actually start cooking in. Once we finish the bacon, 4 per bowl, we'll add in the eggs to kind of finish off in a pan, sunny side up, and then just throw in the remaining bacon fat into the bowl. And finally, we'll top it off with like 1 tablespoon of cilantro per bowl, kind of sprinkle it around. Alrighty, so now the bacon is nice and marinated. I poured out the seasoning packets, used my hands to roll the bacon slices into a ball, and then squeeze it for a little bit, so that way the marinade gets all over the bacon. And then I rinse and repeat the process for all the other parts. So every one of these bacons should be nice and seasoned with the ramen packets. So this is the broth here. I let this cook for about 10 minutes, simmer. So I'll probably pour some of this into the bowl right now. Before I'll do that. I will do this off screen. So for now, let me show you the bacon part here. Since the bacon is pretty fatty, there is no reason to add more fat. I'm going to put all these into the pan, and then let the fat render until the bacon is nice and crispy. And then I'll take out the bacon and put in the eggs, and then we'll put the eggs into the ramen bowl. So let me put the phone to the side here. We're going to do this in one shot. Let's see here. Let me grab my big spoon. Here's a one shot. So there's 1 piece of bacon, 2nd piece of bacon, 3rd piece of bacon, 4th piece of bacon. All right, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. So the reason why I rolled this into a ball is so I can like more easily flavor this with the packets. Now that the bacon is on the pan, you can just spread this out like a strip or something. Yeah, doesn't really matter anymore what the shape is. I guess the ball shape could look more fancy in the ramen in the ramen bowl. So I'll try to keep the shape the same. We'll see. I'll probably have to turn this a few times and so on. So we're going to let this render, cook, become nice and crispy, and then we'll move on to the eggs. Okay, the bacon is pretty crispy and done now. So there's 4 pieces per bowl per serving. I actually have more broth than my bowl can fit, so that's why I have this. This is just a leftover broth I have. It tastes like a chicken stock actually. Butter plus beef stock gives it a plus water, turns it into a kind of like chicken stock, chicken stock thickness and taste, surprisingly, anyway. So we're almost there. I rendered out a lot of fat, actually. That's probably like maybe like 3 tablespoons of fat. So that's gonna be a very nice flavor to the broth once I add that into the soup, into the bowls. So now let's cook our last ingredients, the eggs here. Let me just turn it down to low here. So 4 eggs, two per serving is what I'm trying to go for. The ratio, yeah, the ratio. Then put a couple of eggs in here. These here. Not there. All right, so there we are. Another one, and then another one. All right, and then we'll let these slowly kind of simmer, so that way the eggs do not explode in my face. There we are. And that should be, yes, yeah. So let me just show you what it kind of looks like right now. I'm not an expert on cooking eggs. These will probably stick to the pan. That's kind of what it is. Just do what you can. I'm trying to aim for sunny side up. So we'll let this go maybe medium actually, because there's a lot of oil. So I'll cook this, put it into the bowl, 2 per bowl, and then I'll also sprinkle the cilantro to finish it off. Okay, and here is our final product, instant ramen gourmet style. The eggs are sunny side up, garnished with cilantro, about half a tablespoon of cilantro. 2 eggs, 4 pieces of bacon, veggies, instant noodle. I tried to platter this, but it's kind of hard. The egg white expanded too far anyway. So about half a tablespoon of garnish with the cilantro, chopped cilantro. Because the bowl is kind of small for me anyway. If you have a bigger bowl, you can squeeze in more broth and also maybe like use 1 tablespoon instead. Anyway, about 2 serving sizes. 2 serving sizes is what I imagine. Okay. I also poured the oil from the pan, so this also has the bacon fat in it as well. Pour in the bacon fat into the bowl. All right. Smell is a very like complex and kind of like chicken, kind of like a chicken stock smell. The cilantro has a nice green herby smell to it. The bacon colors the eggs combine into like a nice kind of like a dark orange color. Yeah, it smells like very like deep and a bit like dark and kind of burnt, like a kind of like cedar wood smell, kind of like a cider wood smell to it. Yeah. All right. So let's see what the noodles taste like with just the noodles by themselves. It's okay. It's not bad. The ramen noodle that I use is just is nothing fancy. It's just a regular noodle, which serves its purpose. So, let's see what the bacon tastes like. The bacon's kind of hard. Most of the pieces are no longer balls here. It's kind of a square or something. It's nice and crispy. Mm. It's like a, it's like a, it's like a kind of soft crispiness to it, and also the flavoring, the seasoning from the ramen packets, um, um, from the ramen packets, give it a nice kind of like saltiness to it, like a MSG saltiness to it, kind of like bright salt texture. Mm. Let's try the veggies plus the broth here. Veggies plus broth. The veggies are kind of like dull. The veggies are very dull. There's not a lot. There's not a lot of life to them. See the broth here. The broth is kind of stale. I probably used too much water, and that diluted the flavor of the beef broth. Yeah, too much water probably. Mm. Yeah, the broth right now is very dull. There's nothing special about the broth right now. Even with the bacon fat poured over here, the broth is still kind of like subpar. Tastes very watery. Yeah, I definitely used too much water. That's probably why. That's probably why. I should have used zero water, and the broth would be very nice. If you were to add the egg, so this is the egg yolk here, the egg yolk. I'm going to combine it with the broth right now. That probably completes the broth a bit more. So let me just quickly combine it over here. So now the broth plus the egg yolk. It's a lot nicer. It's like a kind of like it's like a very like it's like a very diluted chicken stock with a very like intense egg yolk flavor to it. Yeah. The egg itself is pretty nice. The egg is it's not too it's pretty mellow. It's not fried. It's kind of like still soft and tender. Yeah, this is a pretty nice meal. The main issue here, the main issue is that the broth is so dull. The broth is too diluted. The broth is way too diluted. It's not strong enough in terms of density. It's very diluted and feels kind of like run down a little bit. So the water itself is not very satisfying. Everything else is pretty satisfying. The eggs, the bacon. The veggies are a bit soft, kind of mushy. The noodles are what they are from the package. The main issue that's kind of holding this back is the broth. It's too diluted. I should have not used water at all, and the broth will be a lot stronger and more kind of tasteful. Anyway, have a good day, folks.